Joe Passarelli here, Joe Passarelli channel, Joe Passarelli show. Make sure y'all are tuning into the Strike Zone every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. on www.ricradio.org and 90.7 WXIN FM. Also, a big shout out to the Strike Zone's new YouTube. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Strike Zone Radio on YouTube. Also, a big shout out to my partner in crime, Haley Imes, over at the Wrestling Throwdown. Big shout out to Chris Sterling, Michael Miner, Josh Jones, and the whole entire crew, the whole entire familia of Wrestling Throwdown personalities, and everybody who comments on there, Braden and Nick Myers, all these guys. Thank you, Steve, of course, Showtime. Thank you guys for supporting the Wrestling Throwdown. Of course, you could subscribe to the Wrestling Throwdown on YouTube, and of course, you join our discussion group on Facebook as well, the Wrestling Throwdown. So, by now, everybody's weighed in their points on AJ Lee. I know I haven't made a lot of videos lately. A lot of people did the Blitz of WrestleMania videos. I did more WrestleMania content on the Strike Zone. We interviewed Fred Ricciani last week from the Sports Courier and really broke down WrestleMania. So, and of course, over on the Wrestling Throwdown channel as well. Did an in-depth WrestleMania review, preview, and a great WrestleMania show if you haven't seen it, with myself, Chris Sterling, Josh Jones, Haley Imes, Michael Miner, a discussion of past and present WrestleMania and the history of it, and it's great stuff over there. You want to check that video out for sure. Anyway, my thoughts on the sudden retirement of AJ Lee, April Mendez, April Brooks, if you will, suddenly retired here in the week after Mania. And there had been discussion and rumors for a long time that AJ may leave the company, and of course her marriage to CM Punk. CM Punk obviously has disassociated himself from WWE in any way, shape, or form that he has been able to do, making his Octagon debut soon enough. He's training now. But AJ Lee leaving the WWE after a stellar career. She is tied with Eve Torres for the most Diva Championship reigns of all times in 3. I would have liked to seen it be over Eve Torres, but it is what it is. The record for total women's championships in WWE is, of course, Trish Stratus at 7. So, AJ Lee suddenly retires this week. Certainly very unfortunate. I mean, she's been so great for the WWE and one of the great new divas over the years. Well, not new anymore, but her and Caitlyn coming out together. Naomi, the last one left of that class. Oksana, the NXT Season 2 class. Naomi's the only one left. Oksana's gone. Of course, AJ Lee's real-life best friend, Miss Celeste Bonin herself, and now AJ Lee, gone from the WWE. Apparently she's going to write a book. Who knows? Maybe she'll pursue MMA like her husband. That certainly would be quite interesting. So, sorry, dry throat. I would be very intrigued to see if AJ Lee, I was talking about this with Jonathan Smash the other day, if they were to make one small division, they have a 135, 125, or a 115. 115 division, I think AJ Lee could compete at in combat sports. I really do. It's my personal opinion. She left a great mark in the world of wrestling, certainly. Training with Jay Lethal, cutting her cloth in the East Coast Indies from New Jersey area. And, of course, getting her big break, being signed by Developmental. Going to NXT Season 2, where I really thought she stood out. Her, and I also thought Naomi stood out, thought Oksana stood out in her own way, and I thought Celeste Bonin stood out. So, those were the 4 that really made it out of NXT Season 2, the Divas version. So, Naomi the only one left. AJ, of course, got such notoriety with the Daniel Bryan storyline and the CM Punk storyline to lead to her future husband in real life, Kane, and her being the GM of Raw, and the 18-second kiss at WrestleMania that cost Daniel Bryan the title in 18 seconds. Really, she's involved in so many memories, so many great stuff. Haley Imes contends that her character got watered down in recent years. It's hard to argue that point. I feel you could even argue the same point with CM Punk. And honestly, maybe her heart wasn't in it anymore. I will say her final match on Raw, I don't think she was too happy with the chants that were going on. And maybe I'm in the minority here, but I thought if you're in the arena and you're chanting "You fuck Cena" and "You fuck Bryan" to the Bellas, granted it's heat, and then you're chanting "Let's go Divas." It was a weird crowd for sure. The Raw After Mania crowd. I don't think AJ Lee was too happy. She's heard these CM Punk chants for ever since CM Punk left, the CM Punk chants, and I got it maybe the first week or two, but after that, it's like, really? Like, just because she's married to him doesn't mean you have to chant his name. It's like, it's ridiculous. Some wrestling fans just, like, get too into the personal aspect. They're entertainers. Let them entertain. Don't get too involved in the personal aspect. But, overall, AJ Lee, great run. In my opinion, a future Hall of Famer. I think she's the best diva since Michelle McCool, who I think is one of the more underrated divas of all time. I think who also deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Will AJ ever come back unretired? Time will tell. But the good thing is this paves the way for the Sasha Banks, the Charlottes, the Beckys, the Baileys, and Alexa Bliss, and everybody who's killing it down in NXT. And they're all such great, unique divas in their own right. And the next generation of divas looks pretty good. You add Naomi in there, and obviously Natty is the vet, and then you get the Bellas, who knows how long they're going to stay with the company as well. And I think it would be nice to get them off television because it's been too much of the Bellas. And one could argue the same point of AJ Lee. Paige, of course, is going to be a main focal point of the division for a long time. Booker T said it on commentary. She's still only 22. She's a 2-time champ. She could end up being a 10-time champ considering her history in the wrestling business and her passion. I could see her staying with the WWE and having 10 runs as Divas champ. Already 2 and 1 in NXT, which she never even lost. So anybody who's worried about the Divas division, I actually think this is a good thing, even though I'm a huge AJ Lee fan. I think it's a good thing for the Divas division to have some fresh blood in there. Get Charlotte up